word. Means the spirit of the age, spirit of the time, the intellectual fashion, the dominant school of thought that typifies the influences and the culture of that particular period of time. So if you think about the zeitgeist of older times, maybe the Renaissance era, the way that they thought, the fashion, just the general train of thought that was in at that period of time, perhaps early America, when the first settlers arrived, what was their zeitgeist? What was their train of thought? All those things have led us to our current zeitgeist, the current train of thought, the way we think right now, what motivates us to do the things that we do. And when people look back in history and they look at our time, what are they going to say was our intellectual, I like this, our intellectual fashion. What do we consider fashionably to think like? And the Zeitgeist movement is about moving that forward, using the culmination of all of what the greatest minds have discovered, people like Buckminster Fuller, Jacques Fresco, what these guys have discovered in using the scientific method, moving us forward towards a better system than what we have right now. So, like I said, Zeitgeist movement is a train of thought. So when you think of it like a train that's moving, it's going to have some. It's going to be a little bit rough. Sometimes it's moving slowly. Sometimes it's moving quickly. But it's moving, and it's moving towards the direction of like I said, what these people have discovered, and what they've discovered is simply put, we live on one world, one system, one architecture, one synergistic whole. And we need to create industry in the same way. After the industrial age, like I said, things started to change. People started thinking of labor for consumption as the new value system. And it's led us to this point where we are really doing a lot of damage to the earth and to ourselves. And it's unnecessary. It really is. There's so much, as we all know, I mean, people know this stuff. There's so many better ways that we could do that. So it's about discovering those ways. It's about talking about that kind of stuff. And that's what the Zeitgeist movement is about. There's tons of resources on the website to find out, the causality of how we've come to where we are. What's the deeper level thinking going on? What's really going on behind in the background? So that's what the Zeitgeist movement is all about. It's about teaching those things, and it's about more things. I actually found a simple illustration. I wish I could. I'm not prepared with the projector, but basically it's about transitioning from the market-based mindset that we have right now, which is about consumption, and transforming it into preservation. The market economy is about obsolescence, and we're about changing it to optimum design. The market economy talks about owning property, and the Zeitgeist movement, we talk about access. I always talk to my friends about that. I'm like, we don't need to always own things. Isn't it better to not have to pay for things, to not have to occupy all the space in your house? Isn't it nice to be able just to know where to get things? So it's about having access. It's not about infinite growth. Like I said, we live on one planet. So we need to learn to change our mindset, to change the zeitgeist of our day to a more steady state economy. One that's not based on competition, but based on collaboration. So like I said, it's not about labor for income. It's about optimum mechanization. So there's a lot of technology. They say that it's a social imperative. A lot of people have mixed feelings about the idea of robots taking over our jobs, but it shouldn't be this thing where people get angry about. It's a social imperative. When you start to use robots, it frees people up. It makes jobs more safer. It makes everything work better people will get scared because we're constantly taught that if we lose our job, we lose our house, or we lose our family, it's this scarcity-based mindset that the Zeitgeist has led us to, right? And so our current Zeitgeist has led us to. So really this idea of optimum mechanization, of using robots, this is a good thing. And so we're trying to help people to realize this. Like I said, getting out of that scarcity-based mindset and balance into abundance, equality, true natural health, spiritual health, what that really means. So that's a lot of what the Zeitgeist movement is about. And really, there's so much more too. It can get complicated at times when we're trying to explain it to people. But just to keep it basic for right now, just remember that it is just a train of thought. It isn't about creating an organization necessarily, but it is about being organized. And I feel like I'm a little bit disorganized today, but it's a process. You know, we're going to make mistakes. You know, we're just people, and we all come from different backgrounds and everything. But yeah, it's not about being super established, but it is about being organized. It is about coming together. It is about people, because that's what it's about. You know, it's about us. It's about living the best way that we can. You know, what is the highest level of health? I work in a hospital, and I feel bad because I feel like we bring people from a negative to a zero. I feel like a lot of times it's not about what thinking what is the most optimal health wise that we can live. It's all about just maintaining. It's sad. It's very disheartening. So so to be involved in this organization and to talk to people about the best way that we can live, and it's not about having a leader either. Sometimes when you have a leader, people have a tendency to get lazy. They have a tendency to feel like, okay, I'm just going to listen to whatever the leader tells me to do. But the Zeitgeist movement is about people taking personal responsibility, doing your own research, finding out yourself. You know, what is this thing all about? And seeing, because I mean, it's maybe you don't agree with a certain aspect, and it's open. It's open for people to say, hey, you know what? I think we should change this. And if you have good ideas, you can present those, and they'll be accepted. You know, as long as you're sourced well and everything. And it's about using the scientific method, putting all these things together, and most importantly, just advocating the fact that we only live on one planet, and we're right now the current system is not working. We need to come up with a better one. You know, the Zeitgeist movement is not about being this established organization that will last forever. Peter Joseph, the one who kind of started it, he said the end goal is to not have a Zeitgeist movement anymore. The end goal is to be able to live in a world where you live in abundance, and each person is valued for their own point of view and everything. So again, you know, the Zeitgeist movement right now is not, like I said, an organization. It's a train of thought. So it's open for people to add new things. Do your own research, find out. If you want to step forward, and if you want to lead, you know, you're more than welcome to do that. We need as many leaders as we can, people just to talk to their neighbors, get organized, whatever way that you can. And there's a lot of new fun things ahead. Peter Joseph is going to be making 3 new films that are different from the old ones. They're not going to be documentary style anymore. They're going to be more action, like a Hollywood style, show people what it's going to be like in this new system and the transition and different things like that. So just anybody who has these kind of ideas, anybody who can get their resources together and say, hey, you know, I think we should go here. And this is why. And you use the same research that Buckminster Fuller or Jacques Fresco, any of these people use to promote those ideas. That's what it's about. It's a train of thought. It's a train of thought. Bring people on that train, you know, as much as you can. So that's the intro.
Yes.